The News Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The Cusi faction of PDP-Laban says their current candidates are already set in stone, at least for now. In an interview with Radyo 5, PDP-Laban Secretary General Melvin Matibag said they are still open to substitution of candidates until November 15. But Matibag added that Senators Bato de la Rosa and Bongo still have high chances of winning since they vow to continue the Duterte administration's projects.
Ito'y maaaring nakatagan sa bato pero siyempre po may mga pangyayari, posibilidad. Hindi naman natin sasabihin ng mangyayari. Natin pa rin po ng partido ay bukas pa rin. Pero sa ngayon po, amin po ng titindigan ang tandem po ng Bato, Go.
The Health Department is eyeing looser restrictions in Metro Manila by Christmas, but only if the downtrend in COVID-19 cases continues. In a laging handa briefing over the weekend, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere said they are expecting COVID-19 infections in the NCR to sustain its downward trend by November 15. By mid-November, Vergere notes that daily cases in the metro may average at least 1,100 cases from the current 2,100. The Health Department also says that the negative COVID-19 growth rate has been recorded in NCR over the last 2 weeks.
Kung magtutuloy-tuloy po yan at may pagpapatuloy po natin ang pagkontrol nitong transmission ng sakit na ito, sana po tayo po ay lahat ay nag-hope that by Christmas time, magkakaroon po tayo na mas maluwag na classification and restriction sa ating mga kababayan.
The government has meanwhile reported that total vaccine deliveries to the country has reached 85.5 million doses. Some 900,000 doses from the COVAX facility will also arrive later today, and almost 300,000 Pfizer doses procured by the government will also arrive by tonight. Emerging evidence suggests that exposure to air pollution worsens the severity of COVID-19. The World Health Organization tells us more. Science in 5.
Hello and welcome to Science in 5. I'm Vismita Gupta-Smith. We are talking today about WHO's new air quality guidelines, and our expert is Dr. Maria Neira. Welcome, Maria. Maria, tell us what is new in WHO's new air quality guidelines.
What is new, essentially, is that we need to lower the recommended levels of exposure to air pollutants in order to protect people's health. So we know now that even exposure to a very low levels of certain pollutants that we are breathing every day will put us at risk, and that's why for 6 key pollutants we are recommending lower levels that will be protecting your health. The important message of these guidelines is that if those recommendations of WHO are implemented, particularly for PM 2.5, which is one of the most dangerous for our health, we could save 80% of the total number of deaths that we have every year due to air pollution. And that number is 7 million premature deaths caused by exposure to air pollution. So as you can see in this meeting, we have an incredible opportunity here that we cannot miss to protect our health.
Maria, elaborate please on these 6 pollutants that we must control in the air that we breathe.
Yes, there are 6 pollutants that are very much of concern for our health. One of them is the so-called PM, so particulate matter 2.5. It's such a small particle that can go very easily to your lungs, and from our lungs will not stay there. It can go even to the bloodstream, and from there reach any organ in our body. Then we have PM10, which is a little bit bigger, and then other 4 pollutants that are coming essentially from traffic or from the combustion of fossil fuels, and I'm sure that you heard about SO2 or NO2 or ozone or carbon monoxide. All of those 6 are the ones that we are targeting, and if we are successful on implementing those new recommendations and lowering the levels of those 6 pollutants, we can save many, many lives.
Maria, what have we learned so far about COVID-19 and air pollution?
It's clear that the bad quality of the air we breathe will be a major risk factor for acute and chronic respiratory diseases and cardiovascular diseases. In addition to that, if you are exposed to air pollution, you will develop certain diseases, underlying diseases, that will give you a greatest possibility of develop severe cases of COVID if you are affected. So we see a clear relationship between air pollution and the burden of COVID-19 in places that were very polluted. This is an additional reason why now on the recovery post-COVID-19, we need to reimagine a greener world with clean sources of energy, a place where we can breathe air that is not killing us. Just to remember all of the people that is listening to us, at the moment, 90% of the world population, 90% of the world population is breathing an air that is not respecting the recommended standards by the World Health Organization, the ones that will be protecting our health. Most of the decisions about the reduction of air pollution, they need to come from governments, from mayors, from politicians. But as an individual, I can put pressure on my politicians for them to reduce those levels of air pollution and therefore protecting my life.
Thank you, Maria. That was Science in 5 today. Until next time then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stick with science.
Magnolia gains a comfortable lead while San Miguel tied up its series with TNT after Game 4 of the PBA semis. The Beermen showed a different team than the one that suffered a blowout loss in Game 3 to bounce back and lock the series tied at 2-all. At their most dominant, SMB had a 37-point advantage over the TNT Tropang Giga. Meanwhile, Mark Baroka redeemed himself from back-to-back lackluster performances as Magnolia hammered out a commanding 3-1 lead in its series against Meralco. Baroka says his explosive performance was inspired by none other than his family. The continuation of the PBA under a bubble setup comes with a huge sacrifice for the players. For starters, Poy Eram and Jason Castro were both absent as their wives gave birth while their campaign was ongoing. Baroka likewise struggled with being far from his wife, who is also expected to give birth this month. But Baroka said Coach Chito Victorero advised him to use his family as motivation to take home the big win.
Kahit sabihin natin na focus tayo dito, pero alam mo, it's the first time na magkalayo kami ng asawa ko na wala ako sa tabi niya, na nagpasalamat ako kay coach na nabigyan ako ng peace sa isip ko na maglaro lang talaga dito ng focus kasi para sa goal namin.
We have heard of General Luna from our history books or that Gerald Tarog film, but are you ready for General Tuna? This animated kitty claims the spotlight in a series created by the NCCA that teaches kids the core values of being a Filipino. Laila Pangilinan tells us more.
Kids and cat lovers alike would surely fall for General Tuna, a new animated series from the National Commission for Culture and the Arts that is sure to delight while teaching Filipino values and culture to young audiences. General Tuna is an original Filipino animation project commissioned by the NCCA for the Filipino Values Program, an initiative that seeks to uphold, instill, and promote Filipino values to a new generation of Filipinos in an untraditional and exciting way.
I think yun yung isang magandang approach when we use the medium of the art, no, in trying to ayoko namang sabihin to teach, no, but I think to share and to revisit our values.
A 2-year research on Filipino values was conducted nationwide through focus group discussions and yielded into the top 20 Filipino values. 7 of these Filipino core values were incorporated in each episode of the animated series. These values were selected to give more emphasis on the values that Filipinos possess during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yung 7 values ay yung pinaka-relevant sa panahon ngayon. At tama nga yun, yung mga napili, yung family, halimbawa, pakikipagkapwa, resilience, health and wellness, yun, nilagay namin talaga doon, faith, no? Kasi ito talaga yung matingkad. Bukod doon, Dahil itong mga 7 values, ito yung talagang parang core values ng Filipino. Umiikot tayo dito.
In the series, General Tuna is the renowned hero of Planet Mingming and is tasked to visit planet Earth and observe the Earthlings in preparation for their planned invasion. Unfortunately, a spaceship mishap sends him crashing instead to the Philippines. A group of human beings called Pamilya nurses General Tuna back to health. The cat hero from Planet Mingming then uses this opportunity to immerse himself in the family and community as part of his mission to create a plan to invade the planet. But why, of all characters, a cat?
Our main style peg that got everybody on the same page was this YouTube video of a cat talking about his day and how miserable he is with humans. So that was all we needed, just the diary of a grumpy cat.
The initial animated miniseries by the NCCA was created by Rocket Sheep Studio. Aside from undergoing the usual process, the NCCA believes that with proper guidance, Rocket Sheep can deliver the Filipino values-injected entertainment that is also aligned to the vision of the agency.
I think unique to the project is really the guidance that is given not only by the Office of the Deputy Executive Director, but by the whole of the NCCA's management.
The NCCA partnered with the Film Development Council of the Philippines and Kumu to bring General Tuna to online audiences throughout the globe. Subtitles were also added for non-Filipino speakers to enjoy the series. The young and young at heart can watch the 3-minute episode at the FTCP channel and Kumu starting October 15, 2021 at 7 p.m. For News 5, Laila Pangilinan. We are One News.
Here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. Voter registration for the 2022 elections resumes today. A Filipina nurse dies after a mugger knocked her to the ground at Times Square. And actor Jake Cuenca was arrested after a police car chase in Mandaluyong. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.